This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. It was a nightmare.
Flight 807, you're clear for landing. Runway 7, Bravo.
All personnel report to the nearest tornado shelter. This is not a drill.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and many blessings this holiday season. Welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host, Brian West, here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made it in this week. Now, as usual, I'll give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it first, followed by a movie clip, a skit, a trailer, or something that's going on in the community, or maybe some pictures. And then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it in. So let's waste no time, folks. Hang on, mistletoe. I'm gonna get to know you better. Let's get to it. Story number 1. It's that time of year again. Do mentoring programs work? Story number 1. One local article about Dr. Mushood Martins, who is a local orthodontist. It brings up the topic of mentoring and if it works or not. Now, if you scan America at the moment, you will try to factor in the pros and cons of what has been taking place in our society. You will notice what everyone define. Well, you want one thing that you will notice, folks. Don't want to get off track here. Is that you will notice that everybody defines success differently. Some people want to be rich. Some people want to obtain everything. Some people want to have a certain amount of touchdowns. Everybody defines success differently. Now, some people have mentors in this process and some people don't. So if this is a factor in how people develop over time without statistical data, we cannot really tell. But a lot of people who do have mentors say that these mentors help them over time. Story number 2, Dr. Mushood. I'm sure that's how you pronounce it. Mushood, baby. Local people are starting to speak out about COVID-19. Story number 2. Locally, cases are increasing, and recent news has made that clear by stating that numbers are showing that the evidence to be facts. But that's just half of the problem. That the evidence that's showing that the cases are increasing and people are speaking out. They don't, but nobody knows how this can be solved because there's a lot of chiefs in this war. Now people are starting to get suspicious. They're starting to get suspicious about this COVID-19 saga, everything. They're speaking up and lashing out on the radio on what they feel is a local plot against the fabric of America. They think this is some big type of conspiracy, the COVID-19 saga. Story number 3. What does an increase in the county budget mean? The Sheriff's Department plans to increase the budget by $2.2 million. Mahoning County Commissioners on Thursday approved a 2022 budget, according to a local Vindicator article, that is about $5.3 million higher than the budget for 2021. Now, what this story proves is that costs are rising, and the cost of keeping people in prison are rising also. So officials are preparing to buy another strategy. That means that's where most of the spending could be going to. This story is still developing. Story number 4. Reverend Kenneth L. Simon feels districts have violated the Voting Rights Act. Once again, the topic is about race. Reverend Kenneth L. Simon made front page news on December 4th and what he feels is a violation of the Voting Rights Act. After new redistricting lines have been drawn, it may now be time to see what people are griping about in all of this seesaw battling, all of this debating. Now, the topic of gerrymandering is also in this debate, which would say that one party is manipulating boundaries for the vote. Well, that's what they think. And that's what gerrymandering is. But then you have the race battle that could be that has been, well, this race battle has been rooted in the American fabric, the fabric of this country's foundation for years, because it was built off slavery. So I'm sure you see why this is becoming a problem. Now, according to the article, Reverend Simon, like many others involved in the battle, feels that America, or maybe just one particular group of political gurus, are purposely trying to suppress the black vote. This is all speculation, and this is what this story is about. Story number 5. Whew. Thou shalt not steal. That's a commandment. Stealing from businesses, stealing Cadillac converters, stealing from relatives, stealing from other people, and even stealing from the government. Locally and across America, people somehow have developed sticky fingers, and if people keep stealing, who knows how long this story will stay alive. Story number 6. Even without the Academic Distress Commission, Youngstown City Schools still needs a winning formula. Youngstown City Schools may still be on the naughty list going into next year, because even if they do manage to pull away from the Academic Distress Commission, the graduation rates still look pretty grim. The grades look grim also, and overall the city needs a winning formula fast. Story number 7 in the top 2 local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. How big is the Jeff Libyan story? Oh, man, Jeff making some headlines. I like Jeff too. But he's got a lot going on. Now, if you're just tuning into the news, folks, you might not know this, but over the past 2 years, Jeff Libyan has been in quite a few headlines. So that must mean that he's been busy, but recent headlines seem to say otherwise. With this story staying alive, it may be wise for analysts to try and evaluate what Jeff Libyan has done, doing what he's been doing right and what he's been doing wrong. Story number 8 and the top local headline and developing news story that made it this week. Yeah, top story. You gotta look up at that, want to wait a minute, it's Christmas. Gotta sing something Christmassy. Do you hear what I hear? Said that night went to the little lamb. Do you hear what I hear? Story number 8. I hear it from the back here, on the left here, on the cashier. Story number 8. All right, story number 8. Is the city of Youngstown trying too hard to rebrand itself? Big question. There is a strange vibe hovering around Youngstown. That's a fact. Now, 1 minute, a few Youngstown residents and business owners are taking shots at a mural painted on the Southern Park Mall in Boardman. Then a story breaks out about a councilman's wife trying to rename a street that they decided to build their house on. People on the outside can only wonder why these stories are making major headlines, but if the city is trying to rebrand itself, they're putting up a big fight in the process, and at the moment, no one knows if the strategy will work or not. Like it or not, there are a lot of people who have invested into Youngstown, and to this day, they have not received a return on their investment. Some people have, some people haven't. Now, this statement serves its purpose for other surrounding areas also. Now, we're all spending a lot of money and losing money locally, but the good thing is we're keeping it in the communities. Now, the Mediator article states that the Oliver family made a valid claim that the reason for the Youngstown street wanting it to be renamed is that they want to change it to show the next generation of Youngstownites, the youth, that it can be done. Now, that's why Stern and Braid is such a big headline. Well, folks, you're getting ready for the holiday. Those are our top 8 local headline and developing news stories that made it this week. Don't go anywhere. Youngstownites, Boardmanites, Localites, Mahonyites, whatever you want to call it. I'll be right back. You're in the Mediator. Me, Brian West. I'll be right back with the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories.
City of Heart, the City of Heart, the City of Heart.
Tune in and don't forget to subscribe to Method 8 Inc. YouTube channel. You can also watch free public entertainment. And don't forget to show some support by visiting www.method8inc.com by buying something, clicking something, watching something, or just reading something. You can also sponsor a program as well. That's www.method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
What does Method8inc.com Media Center have that I need?
Small prints, event consulting, photography, business consulting, technical consulting, entertainment consulting, fundraising advice, event videography, movies, news, publishing, media, books, entertainment, acting, broadcasting, public relations, access to the visual and performing arts, ink and black ink refills, audio recording, graphic design, theater, minor computer and cell phone repair, and they're located at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every Monday through Friday. The list goes on and on.
Method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
Oh yeah! And yes, we are chipmunks.
Just like you made a choice to get this coin, you will have to make a choice to pass life into this world.
We have no hope, Precious. Look at us. We're both high-class girls with little-class lives.
Precious, be encouraged. Your life is about to change.
Now I think maybe I just woke up and was gone.
It seems you're pregnant, young lady.
There's a There's one moving. You're out of control.
If I let you in, you must undo this mistake.
Even if you are pregnant, I'm gonna throw you down the flight of freaking stairs if I gotta get rid of this baby.
Okay, Walter. Okay, I'll get rid of the baby.
Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it in. Folks, around the holidays, do you need a job that doesn't pay well? Do you need a job where you can get talked about and treated like trash and stay in the middle and be spit on? Do you need a job that really makes you feel like a nobody at the end of the day because you have to tell stories about a lot of people who feel like they're somebody? Well, folks, you need to apply for this get-rich scheme of being a mediator. It's the only way to make it through the holiday season. Folks, I'm just kidding. Mediation is for the inner being. I didn't feel like coming here today, but I know that many mediaites out there, people searching for some answers in these tough times. I'm doing this for you, to keep you informed, to spread the message of hope, cheer, joy, and laughter around the holidays. I've made a song for you. Here it goes. When life gets you down and you need a little spring of love around the mistletoe, tune in to mediation. Oh, oh, yeah. Holly jolly, baby. Let's get to it. Story number 1. How currency is evolving. The money that we spend, especially around the holidays. Digital currency has been staying in the news, proving that there could be room for change. If America stays on the path of a devaluing dollar, digital currency could stay in top headlines, as it has been. It's been in quite a few headlines recently. Now, people are even now using digital currency as an investment strategy. Story number 2. How money talk is keeping the true meaning of Christmas in the headlines. Come, they told me, Story number 2. A newborn king to see, I played my drum for him, Money, gotta pay for that drum. Everyone is celebrating the holiday season this year, and they're learning that one thing is for sure, and that is what they learn every year and that is how to stretch that mighty dollar, the buck, to make things work. That's what happens around this time of year. It's happening for everybody, not just poor people, rich people, middle class people too. There are so many people in need this year that this story is proving that even though workers could be seeing a rise in wages across the table, enough money is never enough. It's never enough. Story number 3. Remember the student loan stories. The pressure is on Joe Biden to keep a campaign promise, but it may be hard. Student loan debt is a real problem. This means that college graduates are graduating with twice as much debt as people with no college education. College bills are expensive, and if you cannot pay them, then you have a problem. So America's college victims have been taking the complaints to Washington, D.C. Student loan stories are top headlines, and many students feel that these stories are giving them hope to one day see the debt that is holding them from their fullest potential to be solved, to be gone. Story number 4. The Surgeon General is sounding the alarm on mental health issues. Teens are committing suicide at alarming rates, folks, and this could have a lot to do with mental health. Some cases include bullying. Some cases include stress from day-to-day activities. The story goes on. This problem is so bad that the Surgeon General is now sounding the alarm on mental health issues. And when he sounds the alarm goes off and people start moving. Ooh, get out of the way. Santa's got a sleigh. This story is extensive and stems from children and young people, children as young as 10. So that's not good. The story is big, it's serious, especially when you have young kids. They haven't even got to smell the flowers yet. Commit suicide. Wow. Never thought I'd see this day. Little kids coming to school with weapons. They've lost. They've taken it into their own hand, and I don't know what to do. How this problem can be solved is by looking at me and all of the crazy people who don't know that they're suicidal or even crazy. We're all crazy, folks. That's a fact. That's what my psychologist once told me before she left. She said, Brian, we're all crazy. There's a lot of unhealthy people out there. My psychologist told me this. I'm joking. I'm not joking. She did. Now, I'm going on the record and letting people know that I'm nuts. And the only reason why I haven't done anything to myself or harm myself yet is because I enjoy trying to figure out how I'm going to spend my retirement benefits and save the world all at the same time. That's how crazy I can be and how crazy I am. I too have dinner with the devil sometimes, and he tries to convince me to do some wild things all at the same time, things that I can't even handle. This is the devil. Talk to me in my ear and say, girl, look at that girl over there. She need a blessing. But God always decides to pay the tab. God always decides to step in, you know. We all crazy. Don't commit suicide. And if you're thinking about committing suicide, come talk to me. We can get on the bridge together. We can jump together. We can do things together. Everybody needs love. Me, you, my mama, my daddy, Santa Claus. Everybody needs love. The Pope, pastors, if they tell you they don't need love, they lying to you. And they're deceiving at the devil. God. Well, folks, it's holiday season. Try to be on the good list. And that's why story number 4 made in this week. The Surgeon General has sounded the alarm on suicide. Don't kill yourself. Live life and be like me, mediation. Going out, journeying the world, and seeing the good in everybody. Well, folks, those are our top 4 local headlines and developing news stories that made this week. International. I'll be right back with the top 4. Even I make mistakes, folks. We're all somehow crazy sometimes. I've even made a song about it before we go to break. We all can be a little crazy sometime. We all can be suicidal sometime. But we've got to find a reason to live. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're on the Mediator with me, Brian West. Top 4. I'll be right back.
The city of hope. The city of hope.
If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. It's method8inc.com. Method8inc.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Folks, if you've got kids, I've got to tell you this. One time, when I was a child, we were around the holiday season, so I've got to share this with you. I wanted to believe in Santa Claus. I went downstairs and I saw my family and them preparing the gifts under the tree, and I had stopped believing for 1 second. I went to the window upstairs in the bathroom, and folks, I saw a shooting star, and I knew that there was a Santa Claus. And I knew that if there was not a Santa Claus, then somebody's got to pick up the tab. So that's how this game is played around the holiday season. If you don't believe in anything magical, go outside. Look at a shooting star, folks. There's some magic happening. It's all around you. If you feel like you don't want to live this life, if you feel hopeless, feel like you want to do something or some type of harm because you can't make ends meet, folks, look around you. There are miracles happening every day. Don't you feel it? Don't you feel the excitement? Don't you feel the excitement of the holidays? Have a holly jolly Christmas, folks. It's warm. Let's get to it. Story number 5. Story number 5. The energy shift story has to stay alive. This is real deal. The goal for zero carbon emissions, or zero emissions period, methane, whatever, the ripple effect taking place could cripple the fossil fuel business, and it has a lot of people in the fossil fuel business scratching their heads. The shift. In some places, this isn't the case, though. We'll get more into this. Now, the seriousness of this story is calculated in pretty much everything we do on our day-to-day from a day-to-day basis, and if it is not observed now, that means if we don't pay attention to the energy crisis that was happening now, it could slowly creep into the means of how we live properly. That means with heat, cooking, natural gas, all this stuff could be affected. Now, this story is important because these changes are not normal, and they're not what we're used to seeing. That means if we're not used to seeing $5 gas prices. That's a lot of money if you add it up. We're not used to seeing $500 gas bills, some people. Now, this story could cause problems because the oil industry is blaming the clean energy transition for market volatility, according to The Guardian. That's why story number 5 cannot be slept on. Big headline. Story number 6. Why is a nuclear power plant story in the headlines? There is an entire article in The Atlantic describing the nuclear power mistakes made by the West. That means the United States, America. Now, Germany's outgoing Chancellor Angela Merkel, Angela Merkel's decision to phase out nuclear power plants is becoming a hot topic, which is giving some people some ideas, but we don't know how this could turn out. Now, what you can learn from this story is Germany's now reliance on how they're relying on traditional energy methods without these nuclear facilities. Now, like they're relying on things like coal and natural gas. So this is all in this story. There's some details in it. Now, although the country has been able to cut emissions from carbon emissions and other things that analysts have been talking about, the article speaks of this as a plus, but really shines a lot of light on what is taking place in the energy debate. Now, the big question in this headline is what would happen if America decided to eliminate our own nuclear power plants. That could be bad news. Now, if you track some recent headlines in regards to the energy business and what is happening between Ukraine and Russia, you will start to understand why the story is made it in this week, because energy is big. This is a big headline. That's why story number 6 almost made the top 2 this week. Story number 7 in the top 2 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week for you to keep you informed. Recent carnage is starting to show that some humans are losing empathy, or could be losing empathy. That means caring about other, just care for life in general. People are literally murdering other people in prehistoric fashion, prehistoric style. The carnage is real, folks. A school shooting leaving 4 students dead in Michigan, and another story about a massacre that involved a disabled man and teenagers. Now, these are stories that are not to be taken lightly in this time frame. People are literally dying prehistoric style in 2021, and it's destroying the lives of a lot of law-abiding citizens who want answers and who want some solutions. That's why story number 7 made it to the top 2 this week. We got to start loving around the holidays. Big headline, because there's a lot of people missing from the dinner table this year, and that's not good. Big headline. Story number 8 and the top international headline and developing news story that made it this week. Big headline. Story number 8. We made it almost out of here. The evolving job market. I got to get it done. The job market is a hot topic of discussion, folks, these days. America's job openings jumped to 11 million in October, according to a CNN report. Long-term unemployment fell at a slow pace, according to CNBC. Another headline keeping the attention on the job market shows that fewer Americans are not going back to work due to COVID-19. Now, that was a report by Reuters. Now, another headline by the BBC says that the job growth has fallen below expectations. These are all stories showing that the job market is evolving due to COVID-19. One USA Today headline says that the U.S. economy added 210,000 jobs in November as cases fell and schools reopened, according to the article. According to that article, they say that was a 4.2% jump. Now, this story is evolving because COVID-19 is causing all of these ups and downs, but there is so much uncertainty that's why this story made it to the top this week. It is still developing, and nobody knows how it will develop over time. We have to work to pay the bills. We have to work to do things around the holidays, and that's why this story is so big. That's why it made it to the top. If the government keeps giving it out, we've got to work to pay it back. Big headline, folks. Whoo, we did it. We made it. Well, those are our top 8 international and local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week, folks. I hope you got something out of today's program. I always get something out doing the research. As usual, I'd like to thank all the news outlets, the journalists, the people on the front lines who keep us informed. You deserve all the credit. I'm just the mediator, the man in the middle. If you want to show me or Method 8 some support, it does not take much. Community, stand strong. All you have to do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, folks. Enjoy, stay safe, enjoy the family. Please love them, kiss them, hug them, give them some love. Do the best you can. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Have a good week. Thank you for tuning to the Mediator with me, Brian West. Peace.
Have no fear, fellow citizens.